Welcome back to my channel, Worth the Wait. Today's video, things that I've implemented in my life to step it up, how to become that girl. Advice was bad, right? People around you. Isolate yourself. When I'm feeling the most lost, probes for dress the part. The way that they treat you can often be based on what you look like. We all have red flags. It's to reframe your thinking, and my husband had a parent. Why? I'm gonna leave. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my living room. I have been a little bit slack on my diary entries, but today is going to be a good one, so it'll be worth the wait. I've been working on a lot of projects. We launched a business. It's been a lot. Thank you guys for your love, support. I appreciate you always. Today's video, basically I'm going to be speaking about things that I've implemented in my life to step it up, to level it up, to get in the best physical shape that I've been in, to improve my spiritual health, to improve my financial health, to launch businesses, to work in basically a bigger capacity than I've ever worked before. And this video was kind of triggered, to be honest with you, as a result of a video that I watched the other day. And this video was called How to Become That Girl. Now, keep in mind, when I explained this to you, this was a young girl doing this video, and she had quite a lot of views on it. It was a couple 100,000 views, which was great, but the advice was bad. Like, it was bad advice to the point where I literally turned off the video. So I clicked onto it. The first thing she said, you want to become that girl, you need to act like that girl, which means changing your personality. And I was like, straight up, I paused it. And I was just like, I'm not watching this. Like, that is terrible advice. You don't want to change your personality. Girl, like, you want to grow your personality. You want to develop your personality. You want to look back and reflect on the situations that you've walked through and that you've survived, that you've learned things from. Like, you have so much wisdom that you're not even tapping into, so many experiences that you have yourself have walked through and survived. And you've come out of it, and hopefully you've come out of it as a better person. And when you reflect, you can apply those things to your current situation, your future situations, and your relationships, and hopefully act better, right? That's called growth, that's called development, and that comes with reflecting. It doesn't mean changing your personality to act like what you think that girl is. Because many times we look at these people, especially online, we're like, wow, they are killing it. And I'm like, girl, like, I have met a lot of these people that you think are killing it. And believe me, that is not the life that you want. Trust me. Trust me. Look at the people that you're taking advice from. Is that someone that you want to take advice from? I'm not saying just in the realm of the digital world, but in real life too. The people that are giving you advice, the people that you're taking their advice. Is that someone that you'd actually want to take advice from? Are they living a life that you want to live? Are they in a place, spiritually, financially, health-wise? Are they a kind person? Think about it. And that goes to my first point, which is community. It means getting the right people around you. God did not design us to do life alone. And that has been something that I've really, has been driven home to me these last few months. You know, I moved to Miami, which has been a crazy move. This season has not been an easy one for me in any sense of the word, but in saying that, it's really taught me the importance of community, because when you move to a new place, you don't have that straight away. And when you're going through a lot of change, you don't have community, it can be really, really hard. And thankfully, I have an incredible support network of really good friends that have been my best friends since I was 13, my grandma, my mentor, like all these people around me, but they weren't physically with me. And I just realized it can be really hard, and God didn't create us to do life by ourselves. And there's a verse, I think it's in Ephesians 4, basically it talks about, it's like, pity the man who falls down and there's no one to help him up. Right? Like, if you have a friend with you and you fall down, you're going through something, they can help you up. And there has been so many times where, literally weekly, where I've been like, oh my goodness, like, this is really tough for me. Or like, you're walking through something and you just need someone to speak life and to speak encouragement to you. And that is the importance of having the right people around you, because it can literally make or break your situation. And there's a quote, I believe it's by a speaker called John Rao, I believe, and he says, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So go back and think about, who are the people around you, what are the lives that they're living, are they just out there like, you know, partying, like talking smack about people, always spilling the tea, drama, always having an issue, always complaining? Or are they actually like focused on something bigger? Are they focused on their goals? Are they doing lever moving tasks? Are they actually like providing value? And are you providing value? Because here's the thing, as you grow and you change and you evolve, it's okay to change friend groups. Next one, now this one has been a tough one for me to swallow, and that is to reframe your thinking. And basically what that means is that so many times we can go through a situation in our life and we can become bitter about it, right? But reframing your thinking to be like, all right, if God allowed me to go through this and walk through this and survive this, there has to be something good that came out of it, or something that it taught me to develop my character. Now, for many years, like I really struggled with, I think, a lot of bitterness and anger at God after I broke my neck. I was like, why did I go through this? Like, you know, all these years later, like it still causes me issues. Like, you know, I could find myself being angry at God, or even, you guys know I was married and my husband had an affair, and I was so angry at God. I was like, God, like, why would you allow this to happen? Like, why? I was so honorable to you. I did the right thing. And like, I feel like, you know, and I didn't actually process that properly. And that's a big thing. Like, if you reframe your thinking to be like, all right, like, I'm not angry at this, I forgive this, I let it go, what did this teach me? And sometimes the only thing that can actually help you understand that is time and wisdom, right? And that often comes with distance as well, like distancing yourself from something. And sometimes things are taken out of our lives that we don't think that we can survive the loss, and somehow you do, and you have a hole in your heart. And I know right now I still have a big hole in my heart, and I'm like, all right, God, like, please fill it. I need to fill it with the right things, and it can be really hard. So reframing your thinking is really, it's a big one. Next up is don't isolate yourself. It is so easy to, when you're going through something really hard, to just be like, I just want to be by myself, you know, especially as someone who is like me, who's an introverted extrovert. It is so easy to just be like, no, like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't have the energy or the capacity. I want to be by myself. But sometimes that is not the most healthy thing. This is what I learned. There is the difference between solitude and isolation, right? So right now I feel like I'm in a space or a season where I'm really focused. I'm doing so much more than I've ever done before, and so many different projects, and I'm spending that time where I'm like, okay, like right now I'm not in a relationship. I am having all this extra time where I'm like, I can focus on building different businesses. I can focus on different projects that I didn't have the capacity to do so before. And I have my blinders on, I have my blinkers on, like I am not distracted. And there is a difference between solitude and isolation. But when I first moved to Miami, I was definitely very isolated. And now that I've built that community, I can really differentiate between that and understand the difference. Well, let me tell you guys, it is a really big one, and it's really important. It brings me to my next point, which is get an accountability partner. If you have a goal, you know you're so much more likely to achieve it if you write it down. But now, if you actually sit down with somebody and they can keep you accountable, you can keep them accountable for a project, your likelihood of accomplishing it just skyrockets. Because you have someone to help pick you up. You have someone to keep you motivated on the days when you wake up and you just don't feel like it. So for me, I work from home, and having an assistant come in helps keep me motivated. She's not necessarily an accountability partner, but being like, okay, like this means like I'm gonna start my day at 10 a.m. Like that means before I do that, I need to get my workout in, I need to do my devotional, whatever it is I need to do before that. When 10 a.m. gets there, we're gonna start working. Like it keeps me accountable, it gives me some form of direction. And that's the thing that I've also learned, is that when I'm feeling the most lost, when I'm feeling the most anxious or stressed or lack of purpose, right? Lack of vision, it's normally because I feel like there's too many options. Like, have you ever been really hungry and you go into Uber Eats and you're so hungry and you just sit there and you just scroll because there's too many options? Like the horizon is so broad. And I feel like that's kind of the power of having an accountability partner, because it's less scary. Like, you know what's coming up, you have someone to keep you accountable, and it just keeps you on track. Next is just organizing your space. Now, I don't mean just your physical space, I also mean your digital space as well. I am terrible for that. I have so many photos. If I said how many photos I had, I would actually be embarrassed, but let me tell you, it's more than 100,000. Here's the thing. Also, your physical space. I didn't used to be neat, and now my place is spotless 99% of the time. My bathroom is a little messy with my makeup, but my house is spotless because I think better, I focus better, there's less distractions around me, and I can sit down, everything's spotless, and I can work and I can focus, and there's like no distractions around me. Whereas I feel like when my space is messy, I just tend to be a little bit more distracted. And that was the habit I had to form, because that wasn't something that came naturally to me. I'm not that type A, like, neat person. But let me tell you, since I've implemented in my life, since I started being like, all right, now I'm gonna get up out of bed, and the first thing I'm gonna do is make my bed. The second thing I'm gonna do is get on my knees at the end of my bed, do my devotional, read the Bible for the day, and pray. Like, this is now my routine. It's giving me some type of structure, and it has really, really helped me. The next thing, and this one changed my life, and I'm still working on it. This is a little tough, but that is to stop assuming. Stop assuming that other people have the same intention as you do. Stop thinking that they think the same way you do. Stop thinking that they care the same way you do, because they don't. Because they've been through different experiences that have shaped them. And so many times we sit there and we overthink something, and we play out these scenarios in our head that we're just wasting energy. Like, it's actually not doing anything. It's not helping them. It's not helping us. We're basically keeping our energy in this one spot instead of keeping it moving forward, right? I actually read something this morning in Proverbs that really stuck with me, and it kind of just drove home this point about assuming. So basically, it's from Proverbs 4 verses 23, and it says, "Let your eyes look straight ahead, fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the left or the right. Keep your foot from evil." Now, the thing that I think is super powerful about that is it kind of goes back to two things that I've dealt with for a really long time. One of them being anxiety, the other one being, I guess, the power of like assumptions, right? So when you're going through something, you're walking through something, basically the times that I feel the most anxious is when I'm looking forward to the future, when I'm worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. The times that I feel the most sad or depressed is when I'm longing for something that was in the past, right? So that means looking back. It means looking to the right, looking to the left, looking back, or looking too far ahead. This literally says, like, keep your eyes on the path right, straight ahead. Straight ahead. It's right here, straight ahead. This is today. This is what can I do today? This is what can I do today? Not worrying about 10 years in the future, not worrying about the partner that I don't have, not worrying about what might happen with this job or whatever it is, right? That's a powerful thing when you actually start to think about it, because it brings you back to today. It brings you back to being present, to walking through this situation, this scenario, without getting so anxious. And man, I thought about this verse like 10 times today, because there's a lot going on with my businesses right now. And I'm like trying to do so many things, and I'm just kind of spreading myself a little too thin, and I was anxious. And you know what? I was just like, Rob, just focus on today. Like, what can you do today? That's all I can do, because me being anxious about it is not going to help it. It's not going to do anything. Focus straight ahead. Stop looking over there. Stop looking behind. Get it together and focus. Next one is dress the part. Now, honestly, there is so much power in this. You know that the way that people perceive you and the way that they treat you can often be based on what you look like. Now, I'm not saying go out and get a full makeover, and if you don't like to wear makeup, wear makeup. Like, I'm saying still show up authentically as you, but show up as the best version of you, right? Show that you take pride in your appearance. I'm not saying that you need to go buy a push-up bra and apply 20 pounds of makeup. No. I'm just saying, like, be clean cut, like, show that you take pride in your appearance. Show up as the woman that you want to become. And let me tell you, there is power in this, and you'll know exactly what I mean. So there's times like when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't feel that good. And then I look in the mirror and I see myself, I'm like, oh, like, I do not look well. And then because I see myself not looking well, I kind of like make myself feel worse. Like, does that even make sense? And then there's days when you're like, right, like, you know when you haven't worn makeup or you haven't gotten ready or actually put in any effort in a minute, you're like, okay, like I'm okay. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it gives you an internal confidence boost, and sometimes that confidence can actually show through in the way that you're speaking, in the way that you're communicating, the way that you're acting confident, and it's coming from a space of just being authentically you. And because when you feel good inside, like it shows on the outside, and there is so much power in that. Next one is assessing your toxic sides. Now, look, we all have them. Like, I know that's a fact. We all have toxic sides, and some of us have worse toxic sides than others. We all have red flags and things that we could do better, and that is just the nature of humans and human beings. And I'm a very hard worker, I'm very fast paced, but part of that goes hand in hand with being very hard on other people as well, as in I can find myself being impatient sometimes, and that's something that I'm really trying to work on. And of course there's many other things, that is just one of them, but actually sitting down to reflect and be like, all right, like what am I doing that's actually holding me back? Like what am I doing that's actually stopping my energy, which is me, my goals, from actually moving forward? The next one is rest. We live in the society, guys, that just like, oh my goodness, it's like constant, right? You just have to refresh your page and it's always new content. There's this like, you know, hustle mentality in this culture. It's like, if you don't go, you're gonna fall off. And I feel like that's just the opposite of what is actually healthy. Like, we were created to work hard, but we were also created to rest. Like, our bodies need rest. We function better when we rest. We function better when we sleep better, and when we actually take time to recharge and be creative. And part of that, and this is something that I actually didn't realize until I did a breathwork class very recently, is the power of breathing as well. Now, I know that sounds simple. Every breath is God-given gift, right? But like, we don't even think about it. Like it happens just automatically, right? Like, we don't really, when was the last time you actually thought about your breath? And I did this breathwork class where you really had to focus and like breathe in and breathe out and be very conscious about your breath. And we did this class, it was like half an hour. And afterwards, like, I actually felt like I was high. I was like, wow, like, I didn't realize the effect that breath had on the body. And now I've been a lot more conscious of it. I'm breathing deeper and breathing fuller, and like just being more grateful about breathing, you know. And I feel like that also kind of goes into rest, because it's like part of taking care of our body and just being aware of like what our body actually needs. So these are a few of my points. Anyway, guys, let's chat in the comments. Comment below, let me know what is something that you want to take into 2024 with you. What is something that you want to leave in 2023? For me, I want to leave sadness. Like, I don't want to start 2024 being sad. Let's leave that here. I know it sounds cliche, it's a fresh start, a fresh beginning, but let's start implementing these things that make us better. Let's start implementing them now, because January 1st comes pretty quick, and there is a lot of New Year's resolutions, and it's better to start implementing things now. Stop putting it off until one day, until January 1st. Just start now, and I promise you, you'll be very glad you did. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to support me. I appreciate it more than you even know. And also, so many of you have supported Lumia. Lumia is my new business. It's an interchangeable glasses lens. Super cool, super proud of it. Definitely go check it out if you want. I'm going to put it below. I love you. I'll see you very soon.